Alright, what's poppin' everyone? It's your boy Wander. We're doing something a little different today. Had a little Fire Emblem on the brain, so I figured, why don't I go back to the first one I ever played, Fire Emblem Fates. And I'm going to rank all these characters by what metric, you ask? Well, whether or not I think I'd be friends with them. Yeah, we're not going into gameplay analysis or anything, not going to go over who's good or who's not, but rather, who do I gel with? Let's get started, shall we? With sort of the baseline person. Oh yeah, maybe I should explain these tiers first. Obviously, bestie, we're gonna be best friends, So that's gonna be reserved for very few people, if any. The crew, your group of friends, your gal pals, your guy friends, or whatever you would call them. You hang out with on the weekends or throughout the week, do dumb stuff with, that kind of thing. Work friend is kind of like, someone you make conversation with, but, you wouldn't actually hang out with them. I feel like Leave on Red is pretty self-explanatory. Bitter enemy, whether I try to or not, there's always going to be some people I just won't get along with, so there they go. And on-site is, well, if I came across this person in public, it's, automatic duel to the death. Chopping block is where we're going to put them and sort of gauge their personality and, before we place them in a proper tier. Think of that as just a placeholder. Alright, so we're going to start with the baseline being Corin herself, or himself, whichever one the player chooses. Now, her personality is, the community kind of regards her as like a Mary Sue. No, wait, that's Gary Sue. Mary Sue is the proper term. Which I get, but I mean, she's meant to be kind of like a blank slate type, so whatever. She's what the story needs her to be. I don't personally care. Her thing is like she just wants to do right by everyone. Doesn't always, work out that way, especially in Conquest. But, beyond that, there's not a whole lot compelling about her. She is getting left on red, so think of that as kind of like the baseline. After her, we've got the one and only Azura. See, if you play Revelation, you kind of get a gauge on like where she's from, kind of what her whole family dynamic is. Problem is I didn't play Revelation, so yeah. Beyond all that, she's kind of like a vague, mysterious type, and how about we get some writing, huh? You are, oh my goodness, select Azura. There we go. You're getting left on red, Azura. Sorry. Okay, after her, we've got Alicia. Now, from what I remember about her supports, as despite her, presentation of being a clumsy, happy-go-lucky type who gets really hard on herself whenever she does badly at something. I get it. We've all been there. She does stand up for herself surprisingly when, for example, I think it was like her supports with Takumi. He was, Takumi, he was being himself, and she was like, "Hey, don't do that." I would regard her probably as like a work friend. I get along with him just fine, but yeah, I'm not gonna like get dinner with you or anything. Let's see, and if I could find Jacob. Now, Jacob, he's kind of like a slightly endearing yandere type. He's not going to like murder his lover or anything, but he is horrendously devoted to Corin, to the point where he's quite literally rude to everyone who isn't Corin. On that alone, I feel like him and I would be bitter enemies. Alright, where were we? Next we've got the boy Silas. Now, Silas, if I recall, he's generally just a friendly guy. I think his thing is like he just lends an ear to whoever he tries to be helpful. He's kind of like the therapist friend, which I feel like I'm usually the one doing that. So he's no, you're not on site, buddy. You are. What is up with my mouse? Oh my god. There we go. You're going to be a work friend, Silas. Now, Kaze. Now, I think his whole thing is like he's, generally just a laid-back guy. He's oblivious to the fact that ladies are falling all over him, all that. His whole thing is like he's loyal if he respects you. Now, I'm not usually the type to try and get someone to respect me. And wait, why is Zara down here? Is this when my mouse was messing up? All right. Now, I'm not usually one to try and go out of my way to get someone to like me. So I get the feeling that either we're just gonna be the acquaintances, or my lack of trying is going to make him like me more. That being said, he's a cool guy, so he can be in the crew. Alright, so next we've got old Mozu. She's a country girl. She's not confident in herself whatsoever, to the point where I think a lot of people are trying to go out of the way to hey, why don't I help you out? Help you get learn the ropes. But secretly she's actually pretty good because she's a farmer. Yeah, no, the whole redneck country types I just don't get along with. So to the point where she would be below Jacob. Now, Shura, on the other hand, he's kind of like the lone wolf type, kind of like how I used to be in middle school. I'm cool. I don't need to be with a pack. All that stuff. So I could be like, I used to do that. What's up with you? So you get to be a work friend. Ryoma, he's very protective of people. The point I recall when chapter 7, I think it is, in the route split, he's just gonna kill the Norian siblings. Which, to be fair, the Norian siblings are gonna kill them, but that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that. Now, on that basis, I do think he would be kind to me. So yeah, you know what? You can be part of the crew, Ryoma. I feel like you'd stick up for me, and I'd stick up for you. Not that you'd probably need it. So Hinoka, she strikes me as someone who would probably want me to go on hikes with them, like outdoors type. Now that might not make a whole lot of sense given her characters. She's become warrior to try and get Korin back. But once again, I don't know if it's a haircut or the voice, but she seems like she'd want me to do our outdoors things with them. So sorry, Hinoka, you're getting left on red. I don't go outside. Now Takumi. What is there to like about this guy? I mean, I guess he's an alright archer, but okay, we're not talking about gameplay. This guy is insecure, he's moody, he's just generally unpleasant to be around. So he's not quite on site. I'd probably just be like, oh, that guy's here. I am leaving. Now Sakura, her thing, she's really meek and mild. She's timid, she's shy. She stutters because she's nervous. So she strikes me as the friend who, just kind of go along with the crowd despite, maybe not wanting to do whatever, the group is doing. So she seems like someone who would watch the Unabomber docuseries with me against her will. And for that, you get to be a member of the crew. And look at that. Pretty that's not at all uniform. Wait, that is a uniform distribution. If you're good at stats, let me know if that's the proper term. Okay, Saizo. He is angry. He's brooding. He's loyal to Ryoma. But that does not save your personality. I'm sorry, man, but if I came across you, we would come to blows. Kagaro, on the other hand, in terms of ninja, now between Kaze, Saizo, and Kagaro, she's really cool. She's like the calm and quiet type. She's also an artist, and every artist I know thus far has been pretty cool. And for that, no. Yeah, you get to be in the crew, and you're gonna be above Kaze. Got our girl Setsuna. Now she's a really ditzy type, you know, like the did I you know I did. Kind of like the Steve Urkel type, you know, like the did I do that? That was terrible. Why did I say that? She's cool. While she'd be an absolute pain to work with, probably. I feel like we'd get along. And, you know, that's all I need out of a work friend. Alright, so then we've got a Zama. He is... Despite, you know, looking like, you know, Brock... He's not like Brock whatsoever. He's sarcastic, he's apathetic, he's a lot like me, and I gotta commend him for that. It's on site though. Now Hinata is... He's like a... He's not like full of himself. He's confident in his skills with the sword. That's great. When I played Birthright, he was pretty okay. He's like a really nice guy. He wants to, you know, he wants to like lend an ear to whoever needs it, that kind of thing. He's gonna get left on red though. He like something about him just, you know, I don't like the cut of his jib. Simple as that. Now Oboro. Now this I don't know if this would be like controversial. I don't know. Oboro's a cool person. Now she is defined by her hatred for the Norian people, much like how I am defined by my hatred for Republicans. She's also a fashionista. I like to dress nice. And for that, Oboro, you are getting the coveted bestie tier. Congrats, you're the first one. Now Hana, what do I say about you? I don't recall too much about her personality. Like, I don't remember her being like abrasive or like she just milk toast. So I just don't know where to put you. It's somewhere in between work friend or leave on read. Work friend, like I'm not gonna like go out to lunch or anything, but you know. And then we've got Tsubaki. There's nothing to like about this guy in my opinion. He is a perfectionist. He is so confident in himself that he will put down other people. I'm sure if I recall, he does that a lot with Hana. That is, if they're even retainers with each other. I don't remember. And I gotta say, sorry, but you're gonna be on site. I cannot stand people like that. Hayato, by principle, I'm not gonna hang out with a child, so yeah, you're a bitter enemy. Now Rinka, she's like abrasive, like a no-nonsense type. An iron disciplinarian. I recall she is very upset that people are wasting food in one of her supports. Normally, I wouldn't like that kind of person at all, but I don't know, something about her just, I want to pick her brain, so we're gonna put you in work friend. Okay, Orochi is kind of like your astrologist, crystal mommy type. She's very playful, you know, fun, you know, she likes to tease, you know, that kind of deal. I want to say she could be in the crew. You know what? Yeah, I'll say it. She's part of the crew. Why not? Now, Kaiden. He, from what I recall when I played this, he's like a, you know, he's a really cheerful type. He just wants to play. You know, he's a fox. Cool. I want nothing to do with you, Kaiden. Sorry. Now, Reyna, she is a sadist. I think in the chapter she comes in, she is like, oh, I'm glad there's trees around. We can... Perfect acoustics for hearing the cries of the dying. Which is terrifying. Yet intriguing. No. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I gotta replace my mouse after this. It's going crazy. You get to be a work friend, Reyna. Congrats. Now, Scarlett. While she has extremely limited supports. I believe she only supports with Korin, maybe Ryoma. I do know that she is a supporter of the People's Revolution, and that automatically gains you entry into the crew. Now Xander, while I wouldn't quite call him a bootlicker, because he's the one's getting his boots licked, that is. For a large portion of the time in Conquest, he is very much like, Korin, are you not fully loyal to the, to King Garen? And, bro, why do you care? Well, no other parts of your personality are offensive or abrasive to me. I wouldn't call you a bitter enemy, but I'm not going to go out of my way to, to make time for you. Now, Camilla is very divisive among the community, I understand. Some people like that, she's very caring and doting. It's charming. It's like the mom that I didn't have. Others are, rightfully don't care too much for the whole fan service aspect of her character, which is unfortunate because, with actual characterization-wise, she's quite interesting. Problem is, I'm not one who takes compliments too well. So, sorry, Camilla. Now for Leo. Now, Leo, he's like a know-it-all, but with an inferiority complex. Ooh, goodness. He reminds me so much of this one guy I used to know, and automatically that earns you on-site. Now, while Elise is not particularly, she's a nice person. She's very, cheerful, happy-go-lucky. She wants to cheer everyone on. So much so that, that's a spoiler. I'm not going to do that. But she wants the best for everyone, kind of like Korin, which is appropriate because she's in the same place as Korin. Now, Laszlo, I wouldn't quite call him a womanizer because he's not exactly successful. He's a flirt, which will gain him entry into the crew because, by virtue of him trying and failing, he will make the others look better by comparison. So that's why we're going to keep you around, Laszlo. Perry is an actual sociopath. Her whole thing is she likes to kill people. While I'm not going to make an enemy out of her, just out of a sense of self-preservation. We're not friends, Perry. Sorry. Selena, she also, I want to say, pretty divisive. Some, if you like the whole tsundere thing, great. She's your character. If you don't like people who are mean to you, you might hate her. Now, my thing is I have a bit of a problem with, letting negative people into my life, so you get to be in the crew, Selena. Now, Baruka. Canonically, she experiences no emotions and does not take up hobbies, much like me since I started working full-time. You also get to be a bestie, Baruka. We have a lot in common. Now, Odin is great because he is an actual lunatic. I think in his supports it's like an act, but that doesn't matter. I didn't get him to A with anyone. Yeah, no, he's great. He says dumb things all the time. So just on that alone, that's gonna get you at the very least work friend, but you get to be in the crew. Look at that, we have the 3 Awakening characters. I should mention I'm not doing the children because I didn't bother to pair anyone up like that. So if you wanted them. Too bad. So Niles, his character trait is that he had a bad childhood, and now he's a sadist, which got Reyna into work friend, but oh no. Niles, you remind me too much of myself, and for that, it's bitter enemy. Now Effie, on the other hand, she is, quite frankly, terrifying. She possesses demonic strength and an inhuman appetite. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a support where she doesn't talk about food. So, I fear for my safety if I spend extended amounts of time with her, so that you get to be left on red, Effie. And now comes Arthur. You just might be the worst, Arthur. Like, I can't say anything good about you. Like, geez. Like, I know I said I wouldn't talk about, like, gameplay or anything, but you get to be an on-site just because I would fight you, and I know I would come out unscathed because you cannot hit anything to save your life. So Nyx has a chip on her shoulder because she's an old lady trapped in the body of a 13-year-old in a bikini, which I just gotta ask why. What is the Japanese's fascination with little girls in skimpy clothing? I don't have much to say beyond that. Let's examine that culture. Alright, so Charlotte is her thing is she's a gold digger. She wants to marry someone who has a lot of money. And honestly, can't blame you, girl, chase your bag. That being said though, it's a work friend. I'd get along. I understand the struggle. So Benny, he's like a quiet guy. He likes animals. He likes to live in the woods. He looks scary. But he's secretly, he's a nice guy. I don't care though. Now Keaton is the ultimate people pleaser. I think one of his supports sees him almost like dying or something because he wants to help somebody, and that's great. I would definitely take advantage of him, so he gets to be a member of the crew. As for Gunter, old people make me uncomfortable. And for that alone, it's bitter enemies. Now Flora, unfortunately, I don't know anything about her because I didn't bother recruiting her, so on the chopping block she stays. Looking at the rest of the people in this list, either they are NPCs, people I didn't bother recruiting, or the children, which I got Rajat. Why not? I'll put Rajat. You get to be in the crew because I like that you're creepy. Alright, and with that, there is my final ratings. What'd you think of them? Would you place anybody differently? Or are any of my picks, particularly offensive to you? Do let me know. I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever I'm doing. Toodaloo.